Welcome to another edition of Entering the Light Fantastic, a channeled message from Beyond the Veil. Except this time we're going to do something a little different. I've had a lot of people ask us, how did you guys get started? How did you get together? What's your history? So Marty and I are going to have like a fireside chat. Marty McCrae is my dear friend, channel medium extraordinaire. So we thought we'd just try to answer some of your questions about us through our conversation. So this will be, 15, 20 minutes of conversation, and we'll see where it goes. So Marty.
Yes.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Marty and I met at a workshop. It was a mediumship workshop. Was up in Seattle.
Yep.
Right? And it was
Seabeck.
And there were probably maybe 40 or 50 people there.
Yep.
And so you do exercises and you partner up with people. And Marty and I happened to get partnered up for one of the exercises. And we just kind of hit it off. And this was kind of early, Marty, in your mediumship public career, am I correct?
Yeah, yes, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I've been a medium my whole life, like yourself, but, bringing it out and focusing on it and learning all I can about it, that's the first time I really delved into it, for sure. And then started going, giving readings professionally. Yes.
She was coming out of the spiritual closet.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah. So after we completed I think it was 4 or 5 day workshop, and I came back, I knew that Marty wanted to do some more practice readings before she really went public. So I offered up to be a guinea pig. Do you remember?
Yeah, I guess I do. I had forgotten, but that's true.
That's true. Yeah. And the very first reading that she did for me, guess who showed up?
Yeah, Robbie.
Robbie, right?
And he's easy. He's really communicative, your son.
Well, and the reading was outstanding. I told her, don't have any doubt about doing this professionally because you captured Robbie and you did an excellent job. But what happened after you read me?
Well, I guess he's pops back in from time to time. It's really easy to get hold of him. I mean, he'll say little things like, hey, tell my mom this, or hey, you should say that, or tell my mom and dad blah, and or you should really check on my sister. I mean, there's a lot of things that have got me, that for me it was weird. I won't say weird, but different, because not a lot of I have strong boundaries about I don't let spirits hang out with me, but he's really cool.
Well, thanks. So
he's a neat kid, and I know for a fact that he's a good person, a good spirit. He only means well, and he just really loves you guys and wants to stay in touch. And so I'd say, hey, what about this, or does this ring a bell, or it all would make sense to you.
So it was a little unusual for a spirit to be there without what we call a sitter, right? Usually when you finish a reading, then the spirits are gone. They go back with their peeps. But Robbie wanted to hang out with this young lady.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I think the reason is because their sense of humor, some of their tastes, like Robbie loved Family Guy. Marty watches Family Guy all the time. In fact, our dog is named Brian.
Yeah.
That's how things work. So moving forward, Marty kept in touch with Robbie, and she'd let me know. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I'm a bit of a medium junkie. So I get a lot of readings from a lot of different people because everybody has their own talent, their own forte, their own way of connecting. And so one time I had this reading from this very reputable medium, and she goes, do you know about the woman whose son died and she does YouTube videos? And I said, yes. She said, Robbie said he wants to do that. And I went, no, I'm not doing that. She said, yes, he wants to do that. And he picked Marty to do it.
I didn't really get that part. That's cool.
Yeah, he did. He told me that it was you. So I said, okay, I don't even know. And at this point, I mean, Marty and I were friends, but I didn't know how open she would be to doing this. So I called her up and she said, okay, well, let's try it. So I went up and I spent a couple of days with Marty, and we did our own private channeling sessions and talked to Robbie and worked some things out, right?
Yeah.
And we said, okay, let's do our first one. So, God bless Marty. She was brave enough to take this on. Because
Whoa.
why, Marty? What was your reluctance when I first asked you?
I'm really, it's my own self-doubt is my demon, whatever, for lack of a better word, my thing that hovers in my in my aura. It's I have really high standards of myself, and I have really high standards for others. And I
And that's
I have
good.
watched. Well, it's it's like everything. It's a double-edged sword. So my strength is I'm really a perfectionist. I'm careful with how I spend my time, what I do, how I look, how I dress. I mean, everything is really important to me. I'm careful. And that's a blessing because I know I care for others in that same way. I care. At the same time, I'm like, what? I mean, what's the flip side of that? I can be really hard on people. I can be hard on myself. I can be very judgmental. And when I see channelers online, seriously, I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Right, you're channeling. I mean, I'm always like, I
You're
know
the,
how I think.
you're the
Prove it.
biggest skeptic of everybody,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm mistrustful because of my upbringing, and these are my crosses that I bear. Is like, well, learning to trust spirit more, learning to open up more, learning to do these things that I mean, I don't want to be on YouTube. I'm like, look at my face, and I'm like, rah.
But
And
not only that, but you had been channeling, but not publicly again, right?
no. I have channeled for off and on, just bits and pieces here and there. But it also, I have a brain condition, and so that creates a lot of pressure in my head. And so sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's foggy, sometimes channeling is a lot for me.
Yeah.
And so it feels like, wow, that just took a lot. But then again, I always figured, well, probably like anything, the more you practice, the better you'll get. So yeah, well, I never watch these videos, guys, because I weird myself out. I would be too critical. I would go, why did Robbie/me say that? Or why did I let my hair look like that? How come my makeup's off? I mean, I would be distracted. So I don't want to I want the message from Robbie to be really pure and all Robbie, not, it's filtered through my body and my consciousness. So
And it's been a process for you. I've watched you from the first, I think we've done 6 or 7 of these so far.
yeah,
I've watched Marty. The first one was, I mean, I
rough.
was getting used to interviewing and the technology.
Yeah,
Marty was getting used to having Robbie there. But as it progressed, they both got comfortable with each other.
yeah,
And, but I have to tell the story of what happened the last session is as I'm watching Marty, and this has never happened before when we're doing this live, I could see Robbie's face like overlay on her face. It was really interesting to see. And what did you tell me about what you're doing now with the overlays versus
right.
how it started in the beginning?
So how it started in the beginning was, the times before when I've channeled, it's, listen, mediumship and channeling and all of this it's a stretch. We're stretching our imagination. We're stretching the limits of our minds.
Yeah.
We're stretching our consciousness. So in the beginning of me channeling him, I just thought, okay, I'm going to, set my own consciousness to the side, let his consciousness come into me. And what that looked like when I closed my eyes, I go into trance. I would literally visualize greeting him, and we hug and we high five and we do funny little things. And then I would visualize myself going out into the audience on the other side where he is, and then he'd step into my body. And I mean, so it's the weirdest thing to be sort of, I think the goal is to have your consciousness, I'm completely removed and he's just using my body.
Yeah.
But it's a little tricky when you first start doing it. It's I get pulled back in because maybe it's a juicy conversation topic for you, and well, oh, what's he say to that? And then when I get pulled back into, wait, what? So
Yeah.
because I could hear what's going on, but I try to just, no, I'm focusing on me. I'm on the other side. I'm looking at the audience. I'm looking at the stars. I'm looking at heaven. What was the question? I'm going on and on. Sorry.
No, that's okay, because we're going to go back to that. But I think in the beginning, it was more
Clunky.
kind of entered your body.
Yeah,
Where
I let
now
him
it's
full
like
on use me, and yeah, and then it's progressed into, it's much more easy for me to, okay, let me just jump out, go ahead and jump in, and we still do our high fives and hugs and chats, but it's more of an overlay.
yeah.
It's like almost like you're putting a lace tablecloth on top of you,
Mm-hmm.
and
And that's
I'm
what I
just letting, yeah, his aura come onto me,
thought.
and
Mm-hmm.
it seems a lot lighter and easier to do it that way. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, I guess I really need to. In fact, I'm going to start taking some actual classes in channeling because it's probably offensive to some people who've taken channeling classes. I haven't. I've,
That's okay. You're
yeah,
self-taught, and you're doing at this point what you're supposed to be doing,
yes, this
and
is spirit. I'm totally putting my trust in spirit because
yeah.
Robbie led me to this. My own son, has led me to this. Uh, in years previous, my son channels and knows how to channel, and he taught me how to channel. Starseed kid, and came into the world knowing, oh, we'll just do this. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Your son is amazing.
He is, and so at any rate, yeah, we both have amazing sons, and that bonds us as well. It's really nice for me to be able to. Um, I'll tell you this, everyone. Nancy and her husband created a great family,
Oh,
and it's wonderful to see the results of that. That Nancy, you can go so far beyond in your grief journey,
mm,
this far, to, okay, now we're laughing and joking again, and you know it it takes a huge leap of faith for Nancy because people might think we're nuts, right? That's my fear going online. Let's just call it what it is. Oh, okay, crazy.
yeah.
Keep on thinking you have her dead son in you. I mean, that's my worst fear, is people are going, oh, did you see that? And you know what? Doing it makes me go, well, whatever. So there's going to be a lot of people who think that.
Sure.
We know.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for Nancy and for Robbie and Rob and Jacqueline, that
Yeah.
family.
Well,
That's why I'm
and to serve spirit.
to serve spirit.
And I give all the credit to my son, because and as a parent, what do you want for your child? You want the very best thing, right?
Yeah.
So Robbie has come through and told me, he said, Mom, when parents get stuck in their grief and they stay in the moment that the life ended and don't go on, he said, then you become like my unintended victim. And he said, it's hard for me to do what I need to do on this side. So when I heard that, I thought, well, I don't want to hold you back. I need you, and I want you to do whatever it is, you're
Yes.
supposed to be doing. And that's when he said, okay, we're going to be working together. So, I tell people, do I miss my physical son? Oh,
Yes.
every day, every
Yeah.
day. But I know that I have not lost him Sometimes
Yep.
people will say, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss." I go, "I appreciate that, his
Yeah.
physical loss, yes, but I haven't lost him. He's still here. We still work together." So I'm grateful to that, and I'm grateful to my son for the gifts that he's given me since he crossed. I didn't do any of this either 9 years ago. This is
Right.
all Robbie. So when Robbie brought Marty and I together, and he brought Marty into the picture because of their likes and similarities, but also because Marty is an amazing channel, an amazing person.
Oh.
And, Robbie, when he was alive, and Marty knows this, he had a knack for surrounding himself with some pretty incredible people. And he's still doing that from the other side. So, that's really why we're doing these videos. Robbie told me, Mom, don't worry. Just, I'm asking you to do this to serve spirit. So it's a huge leap of faith for both of us to be
Yep.
putting ourselves out here and then to trust whatever comes in. We don't
Yep.
script this, right, Marty?
Nope.
Nope.
No. It's just let me go get into trance and see what happens. And the only editing I know you've been doing is just, if I take longer
Hmm.
to get into trance and have him come through,
Yeah.
then you shorten it so people aren't just staring at me with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say too about how the power of love,
Hmm.
because that's what we're doing, right? This is really the power of love. He loves his mom and dad and sister. He loves you guys so much, and it's been amazing because I'll take sneak peeks. I'll I'll look through his eyes at Nancy. At first, I had my eyes closed a lot because I didn't want to break the concentration of. I had to really concentrate on staying in my trance and staying over there, and don't butt into what he's talking about. And but as I've gotten better at it, of being a better vehicle or vessel for spirit for him to use, I can relax and just I peek and I see how he sees his mom and what he is seeing Nancy, you from the other side. Um, it's you, but you have really huge eyes. And that was a huge piece of evidence because I told Nancy that, and you said, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, it's kind of in for those of you that understand, we have our loved ones in spirit, we have our guardian angels, we have our guides, we can have totem animals, we can have a council, but each of us comes from a higher self. And when we incarnate, we don't bring all of our energy onto this plane. A big piece of us still stays in that dimension. So a long time ago, I had a vision, and they gave me the name of my higher guide. And in one of the readings, the medium described her. And and she had big eyes. So I had drawn a picture of it, and I showed it to Marty. And this is another one of our synchronicities. And what did you say?
Well, it's interesting that my spirit guide is twins with your Leonini. And
Hmm.
I went because you showed me the picture, which this was just last week when you showed me the picture, and I'm
Yeah.
like, holy crap, that's what my spirit guide, only I call her Diana.
Yeah. We can
And
name them anything.
right, but it's twins. They're twins.
Yeah.
And I went, well, that's interesting. So I guess we're sort of I mean, there's so many more synchronicities that we have,
Yeah.
but um
But that just goes to show that on some higher level, some higher plane, Marty and I had agreed to come in and do this. And we do this to help awaken humanity, basically, right? To bring
right.
some comfort, to have people start thinking about other possibilities. So,
Yes.
I mean, this goes back beyond you and me being human and back to synchronicities, us even being brought together in the first place
Yes.
at the workshop.
Yeah, because you live in California and I live in Washington, and
Uh-huh.
but then we started talking, over time, we started realizing, wow, we're so much alike. Our families are so much alike. There are no coincidences, is what I've been told. Or if you are running into coincidence after coincidence, then you know you're on the right path.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that, oh, when you have all these synchronicities and things in common and coincidence after coincidence, it must, to me, that's what I choose to believe. I choose to believe this must be real then. This must be meant to be. Therefore, this is my reality.
Yeah.
So,
Then you have to follow it. Spirit is putting this opportunity in your lap. They're giving you confirmation after confirmation.
yeah,
And Marty would say something that Robbie said, and I would tell her about a dream I had had the night before. And it was, the same thing. I said, Marty, we're supposed to be doing this.
yeah,
So if Spirit wants us to do this, then we're going to do this. And
yeah. We're all in. We're
yeah,
not, oh, let's dip a toe in the water. I mean, we are all in.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so let's keep that in mind as we explain what happened this last week. You guys, I don't know, maybe we're making too much of this, you audience members who may see this, um, but it was an alien experience. It was an experience with extraterrestrials. Came in to work with and make a big announcement. They had a big announcement. That's what we filmed, last Monday? And
We use the term alien or extraterrestrial, but that's life forms outside of the incarnate people on this earth, right?
right,
But when you think about it, angels are aliens, right?
yes,
In a way.
yes,
Our guides, our higher council. So what Robbie did for the first time is he brought Marty into the scene, and it was a very special scene. And he said he wasn't going to talk. One of his council members wanted to channel through Marty. So Marty was a little nervous, and I'll leave that part in so you can see how it all transpired. But through her acceptance, trust, and bravery, she allowed it to happen. And it was quite incredible. The name that they gave, again, from the council,
yeah,
is familiar to me. I have been told that I have a connection to these people, which Marty didn't know before she channeled.
no,
Kind of fun. But the amazing thing is that she channeled. Now, if you've been following these sessions, you know that in most cases, Robbie's there and his council, which I believe is made up of 3 people or 3 beings,
yep,
is always in the background.
yep,
And they are the one that's kind of guiding him and not filtering, but kind of telling him what to say. And when he can't say anything, then they do that. So they have always been there.
yeah,
This time they wanted to speak direct. But before we go into Robbie and the clunkiness of it, when he
right,
entered your body, to now it's like a sheer overlay of
yeah,
his energy on you instead of really coming in, okay?
right,
You
right,
you've talked about how it, can affect your head. But when you channeled the council, what was that energy like? Because that's different.
that was wild. Was really, really different, and it was definitely what I was experiencing was, it felt very holy to me. That's a weird word to use, but it felt really light
Mm-hmm,
and really energizing.
mm-hmm,
And when, I mean, I just, for the, it's been a week now, and for the rest of this time afterwards, I've felt like I hold myself higher. I'm more, I'm more in my body. It was very healing,
yeah,
really healing energy.
and
I
energizing, right?
Yeah, very energizing, because I
Yeah.
suffer physically from a lot of different autoimmune issues, and as many of us do, and it was so amazing that it's helped me channeling Robbie. He's
Wow.
high energy. He's
Yeah.
energetic. Plus, he is on the other side, and so he's just full of love and light. And I always feel energized after I channel him. But this was like a lightness of being. I
Wow.
felt very loving towards others. I felt much more easygoing. I felt not so fussy as I can be. I felt really the lightness across my chest is really the biggest thing. It was so like an easing of your burdens, an easing of your physical cares. Like, oh, why was I holding on to that? Just
Yeah.
let it go.
What an amazing experience for you, and a great, and I know it's lasted because we've been
Yeah,
chatting, and you definitely look healthier, you're more energized, and I'm
yeah.
so happy for you.
Thank
So
you. Yeah. No, it feels better. And so I guess we were nervous about putting something out there with the word aliens because everyone's got their own opinions about UFOs, aliens, yada yada. Um, this is, Nancy was saying, well, what we do, what did you say? Aliens aren't very mainstream. I'm like, I know, but kind of like what we're doing isn't very mainstream either.
that's
So
true too. Well, they say there are billions of stars, billions of planets, billions with a B.
yeah,
So for us to think that we might be the only life form out there is a very limited way of thinking.
yes,
And I think that's broadening, just because science is broadening and proving that, I mean, they found water on Mars, they're so anyway, we just wanted kind of to have this fireside chat, if you will, to let you know how this transpired. We did not know that
yeah,
this last session was going in this direction. And Robbie said it was time. So to go back to our faith in service of spirit, they have asked us to do this. So we're gonna post it. And all we ask is that you watch it with an open mind, take what fits, and leave the rest behind.
yeah.
And so with that, we're going to end our little chat. If you have any comments, you can, of course, leave them there. And I want to thank Marty again for, first of all, being a great friend and for her dedication and sacrifice to this work. So we wish you a very blessed day. Until next time.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Marty.
Mhm.